So match four is a Tranmere Wrexham derby, one that I did play in. Started, I think, right midfield, which is a bit of a bizarre one, but played 1-2-0. It was I think it was live on BT, if I'm correct. Yeah, I think it was a 12:30 kickoff at Prenton Park.
Yeah, and it was Micky's first game back as manager.
Yeah, yeah. So how that come about? Basically, um, I think so. Gary Brabham had left, and Paul Cardham took over as caretaker. And Cards had given me a few appearances. Come on away at Dagenham, then started against Gateshead, and then by the time the Saturday game come round, Micky had took over. So I don't think he knew exactly where, like, who I was, type of player, where I played. So we lined up in training the day before, and I was right midfield. I was like, cool, I'm starting. I'm out of position slightly, but it is what it is. I'm playing in a Tranmere Wrexham derby. But I just remember being like horrendously nervous for whatever reason. Obviously, it's a massive game. I remember the game kicks off. We have kickoff. Steve Jennings gets the ball, absolutely wraps a pass at me in the first 5 seconds of the game, and it goes under my foot and out for the throw-in. And I think, oh no! But then I just couldn't. I just couldn't settle down in the game. I was just, like I said, very nervous. So far, right, if I'm not going to have a good game, at least I'm going to do is just run my socks off. Luckily, I don't think it was actually the greatest game by either team, but I remember sort of a Richie Sutton / own goal, which gave us the 1-0 lead, and then Andy Cook made it 2-0 pretty late on. Yeah, and it was just, I think there was a crowd of, was it close to 10,000 maybe?
I will look up exactly what the attendance was, but the question that I kind of had for you was, given your age, you'd have started following Tranmere after Wrexham's demise as such. So how much did you understand of that rivalry between Tranmere and Wrexham? Because you would never have seen it before, apart from the previous season when they were in the National League together for the first time.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, it obviously didn't watch any Tranmere v Wrexham games. They were in the National League before I started watching. So it was only, like you mentioned, the season before where I sort of experienced the rivalry. And then you just, when you notice it, then you start noticing stuff online and fans like arguing with each other and giving each other stick, and then just the build up to the game, like weeks before, seeing like local fans around the Wirral or speaking to friends, they were like, "Oh, Wrexham in a few weeks, Wrexham in a few weeks." It was all everyone was speaking about. So yeah, and then obviously it being on BT made it a whole lot bigger. 12:30 kickoff, everyone was watching. I remember it just being a perfect day for football. And yeah, the crowds are there early. All the TV, all the television, BT and media and stuff were there early. So it was a massive game anyway, and then it just got sort of made even bigger due to the fact that it was live on telly and stuff. So yeah.
Amazingly, and my memory is the same as yours, that there was a big attendance there, but amazingly there were only 5,644, whereas when you play Chester about a month later, there's 7,790 there. But yeah, the Micky effect obviously grew from there on in. Do you remember the atmosphere of the day?
Yeah, I was just about to say, maybe it was just the atmosphere that made it feel like there was more people there. It was just, like I said, the game wasn't the greatest from either team, so I don't think the fans had much to cheer about, obviously, until we scored the first goal. But I just remember it being hostile from minute one. Obviously, we were shooting towards the Wrexham fans first half, so obviously getting a bit of stick off them, which is fine. Playing on the right, I was pretty much sat in the Johnny King stand, so I could just hear all the singing and shouts and everything from that stand. And then when we score, it was actually, the second goal was obviously more celebrated than the first, just because it was sort of sealed the win, and it was Cook, he scored a typical Andy Cook goal, few fake shots and then slotting it in. And I've got some good pictures from that day as well, so they're always nice to look back on. So yeah, it's a brilliant day. I remember it. Remember it very fondly. Played 90 minutes, massive win, especially against Wrexham.
Just one final one on that game. What kind of player are you in terms of? I've seen Tranmere youth players before who, when a big game comes around, the adrenaline's absolutely thrown, and it means they fly into tackles. I remember when Sean Thornton returned to Tranmere for Doncaster in 2006, and Carl Tremarca laid one on him in about 40 seconds, and we can all remember Liam Ridehouse. I know he's not a youth product, but Liam Ridehouse flying into that tackle against Boreham Wood and obviously, unfortunately, getting sent off. But because the adrenaline was flowing, do you remember leaving any big tackles on anyone that day?
Not really, but I can just remember feeling like I must have covered about 15k that game, because I just remember thinking, like I mentioned earlier, like I wasn't having a great game, sort of out of position, didn't really know where to be in terms of position wise. So I was just thinking to myself, the one thing I'm going to do is run until I can't run anymore. And I remember even late on, I was still buzzing around, and I think it was just the adrenaline that got me through it, really.